This is the second of 3 videos which are going to discuss intervals. In this installment we'll be talking about some more complex situations, writing intervals below a given note and writing intervals when the lower note is not a major scale tonic. When writing an interval from a given upper note using the major scale method, it is important to remember that the lowest note is what is used as the tonic of the scale that you're using to measure the interval, and that you are the one that is going to be writing the lower note. So in this example, you're being asked to write a perfect fifth below this given note, an F. Do not use the F major scale to help you write this interval. The steps in doing so are as follows. First, start with a generic interval. F generically is down to some kind of a B. And this lower note is the tonic of what scale? B major. What's the key signature of B major? 5 sharps. Is there an F natural in the B major scale? No, there's not. B to F sharp would be the perfect fifth, but we have B to F natural, so this is a diminished fifth. Is this interval smaller than a perfect fifth? Yes, it is. B to F is a diminished fifth. The next step is you need to adjust the lower note. Never change the given note. Never change that upper note, the note you start with. Even if you get a correct interval, it will not be the one I'm asking for, and so your answer will be incorrect. So in this case, this interval is a diminished fifth. We want a perfect fifth, so we're going to lower the note, lower to a B flat. And then the last thing I would do is ask myself, in a B flat major scale, is there an F? Yes, there is. So this is indeed a perfect fifth. Adjusting the size of an interval by changing the lower note is a little bit counterintuitive. You need to remember that if you are going to make an interval larger by changing the lower note, that lower note needs to be lowered. So if you have a minor third of C to E flat, if you need to change the bottom note, or the C, to make it a major third, you have to go C flat to E flat. And to make it larger than that, you have C double flat to E flat is the augmented third. To make an interval smaller, the lower note needs to be raised. So again, here we start with a major third. If you want a minor third, raise that bottom note to C sharp to an E, and you have a minor third. Determining the quality of an interval in which the lower note does not correspond to a tonic of a major scale by using the major scale method is going to take a couple of extra steps. The first thing you want to think about is from G sharp to C, we generically have a fourth. But the problem is there is no such thing as a G sharp minor scale, so we need to make some adjustments to help us figure this out. One easy way to determine the quality of this interval is to either raise or lower both notes an equal distance until the lowest note matches a major scale tonic. It will definitely be less confusing if you do this movement chromatically. So the interval that we started with, G sharp to C, we have now lowered both tones to G natural to C flat. G natural is the tonic of a major scale. Key signature of G major is 1 sharp. So in this case, G to C flat is a diminished fourth. And because we're moving up parallel from G to C flat, G sharp to C natural, these are both going to be exactly the same size intervals, so now G sharp to C is also a diminished fourth. Here's another example. B double flat to A flat. Generically, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have a seventh. But there is definitely no B double flat major scale. So in this case, I am going to raise both notes a half step to B flat and A natural. There is a B flat major scale, and in a B flat major scale there is an A natural, so B flat to A natural is a major seventh, and therefore B double flat to A flat is also a major seventh.